Tattooing. It's one of the oldest forms of self-expression, dating back well beyond 2000 BC. In Egypt, tattoos have been found on the remains of priestesses, as well as on many dancers and musicians who have the god Bes, protector of the home, women, and children, similarly placed on their thighs. There is, however, a much older occurrence of tattooing. In 1991, on the Austrian border, Iceman was discovered. After carbon dating, he was determined to be around 5,200 years old. His body houses over 50 tattoos in the forms of various lines and crosses, ranging from his head to his foot. They were seemingly made by rubbing charcoal into small incisions. The locations of the tattoos were at places of great strain: the spine, ankles, knees, and wrists, which, amazingly enough, correspond directly to skin acupuncture lines that were thought to have originated in China 2,000 years later. Another fascinating occurrence of tattooing is one still found among the monks of Thailand. Once a year, thousands of people from around the world flock to the Wat Bang Phra, Wat being the Thai word for temple, located outside of Bangkok. Dozens of the monks who live there are heavily tattooed themselves and masters of the art. The Thai version of tattooing is deep in spirituality and meaning. Protection, good luck, and blessings from on high are all part of what the tattoo enthusiasts seek.
The purpose of our project is to ascertain whether or not there is a culturally and socially present stigmatization of the tattooed population. We plan to show this by interviewing 3 different populations, each with seemingly polar views on the topic of tattooing. The chosen groups will be those who possess positive, supportive perspective about the industry, those who are relatively or ardently opposed to the institution for cultural, practical, or religious reasons, and those who are relatively ambivalent moderates, who possess no solidified prerogative concerning the tattoo industry.
Thank you for participating in our research. I'd just like to ask you a few questions about your tattoos and the tattoo culture.
Sure, yeah, it's my pleasure to help you guys.
Awesome. How many tattoos do you have, and how old were you when you got the tattoos?
I currently have 3 tattoos. I got my first one when I was about 19, and then over the course of the next 2 years, I received the other 2.
Awesome. Okay, and what was the motivation for you getting these tattoos?
Well, I had always been a fan of the tattoo culture and industry. I really like the idea of body art and individual expression in general. I decided to become a part of that, and it's all worked out very well for me.
Awesome. And have you had any type of regret so far with getting any of the tattoos?
Not so far. Nothing has happened to me that would have made me regret them. And as far as I'm concerned, it was a good decision.
Awesome. Does anyone else in your family have any tattoos?
As of currently, I am the only tattooed person in my family, but I'm attempting to persuade them otherwise.
All right. And a few more personal questions. Do you think there's a certain social stigma that comes with having the tattoos?
I think there is certainly a stigma associated with tattooed people in general. I think it's the same type of intolerance that stems from everything else. It's just general ignorance. People are always um, non-understanding of something they've never experienced, but it very rarely turns violent or negative. So it's just something that you need to be prepared to deal with if you decide to become a part of that culture.
Right. And do you feel discriminated against in the workplace?
I've never personally experienced any severe discrimination. I have lots of friends who do have more visible body art, and they've experienced, a highly level of severity, in terms of prejudicial and discriminatory treatment. But personally, I've experienced very little of it. I've been very lucky that way, but I've certainly seen it exhibited towards other people.
So do you think if you had it more visible that maybe you would have the discrimination?
I think I certainly would. That was a component that went into my decision to get them where I did. I'm not really interested in working at McDonald's for the rest of my life, so there's nothing on my knuckles or neck.
Right.
So far, I haven't been to prison. Hopefully, that doesn't change. So I think, yeah, if they were placed differently, it would certainly have affected my experience.
Awesome. Well, thank you for answering our questions and being part of our research.
As in any proper anthropological research, we plan on keeping the participants safe and informed of their rights with the methods set by the Institutional Review Board. They may choose to have their identities remain anonymous if they wish. In conclusion, this kind of research is important because it exposes people to alternative cultures and hopefully produces a cross-cultural understanding that promotes an ending to ethnocentrism and ultimately creates a bridge between the gaps dividing those of different beliefs.